So at the beginning of the story, we see some manga artists sitting in their office, working on a manga. Manga are comics that adults read with great interest. A news reporter was playing on TV in the office, reporting that a girl had bitten a dog and severely injured it. Hearing this, all the manga artists were shocked, wondering how a girl could bite a dog and injure it. Then we see an artist named Suzuki. Suzuki is very serious about his work, but his boss pays him very little. Suzuki returns home after work, where we meet his friend Takio. Suzuki and Takio are friends and share the same apartment, but Deko is now very fed up with Suzuki because he can't even afford to pay the rent. Suzuki spent the entire night creating his manga, hoping to bring it to the production team the next morning. Well, the next day, when Suzuki shows his manga to the production man, he doesn't like it at all. Therefore, he refuses to launch it in the market. That same night, Takeo throws Suzuki out of her apartment because she can no longer tolerate him. She tells Suzuki that he's not special at all and won't be able to achieve anything in life. Suzuki quietly leaves and sits down on the road. He came there because he had nowhere else to go. The next day, we see a news reporter reporting that a dangerous virus has spread throughout the city, causing people to become increasingly aggressive. Meanwhile, Suzuki is working in his office. He notices that his boss's eyes have turned very red, but he doesn't pay much attention to his boss. Afterwards, Suzuki stays at a friend's house to spend the night. Just then, Suzuki receives a call from Takeo. She tells Suzuki, "I shouldn't have done what I did last night, I'm sorry." She says this, but the call is disconnected. The next morning, Suzuki immediately comes to Takeo's house. He arrives at the gate and asks for a long time for Takeo to open the door. Takeo doesn't respond to Suzuki. Seeing this, Suzuki looks inside through the door hole and is completely shocked. Takeo is behaving very strangely, her entire face looking terrifying. By this time, Takeo is completely out of control and attacks Suzuki. Suzuki tries to escape. Takeo was about to bite Suzuki when he bites his own door, breaking all of Takeo's teeth right in front of Suzuki. Takeo then brought Suzuki inside the house and began brutally assaulting him. This time, Takeo bit Suzuki's hand, but he didn't have teeth. As Suzuki tried to push Takeo away, Takeo fell onto a sharp trophy kept behind him, killing him instantly. Suzuki was terrified by this and quickly ran back to his office. Upon arriving, Suzuki saw that one of his colleagues had also killed another colleague because he was also infected. At that very moment, their boss, who was now fully infected, arrived. However, Suzuki's uninfected colleague struck him with his baseball bat. We see that he too became infected because he was bitten by his infected colleague. Just then, another girl who worked with Suzuki emerges from inside, also infected. Suzuki manages to escape from them and quickly escapes his office. Upon arriving, Suzuki sees that the people of his city are becoming infected one by one, attacking ordinary people like wild dogs. Seeing this situation, Suzuki becomes extremely frightened and begins running for his life. After running for a while, Suzuki stops near a taxi to observe the situation behind him, as the infected people behind him are attacking each other. Suzuki and a few others flee the scene in a taxi to save their lives. On the way, Suzuki's eyes fall on a man sitting on the side seat, who also has a bite mark from an infected person on his hand. Before Suzuki can react, he is taken aback. Then the man completely transforms into a zombie and begins attacking Suzuki. Meanwhile, the man also bites the taxi driver's hand. He was about to bite Suzuki as well when Suzuki opens the taxi door and tries to throw the infected man off. But Suzuki, along with the infected man, is also stuck to the taxi, as the infected man is holding on to Suzuki. Seeing this, the girl in the taxi also tries to pull the infected man away from Suzuki, and shortly after, the infected man releases Suzuki's leg, after which Suzuki gets back into the taxi. But his troubles aren't over yet, as the driver has also become infected. After becoming infected, the driver presses the accelerator hard, causing their taxi to accelerate at a very high speed. Due to such high speed, their taxi went out of control, and they had a very dangerous accident. However, Suzuki and the girl survived the accident, suffering only minor injuries. Upon exiting the taxi, they saw that the accident had also caused an accident in all the vehicles behind them. Both were shocked. By this time, we learned that the girl with Suzuki was named Romi. They both watched some news on their phones. The news told them to go to a high mountain because the spread of the virus there was almost non-existent, and that anyone infected with the virus would become a normal person by going to a high place. Then Suzuki saw Mount Fuji, just a short distance away, so they both started walking towards it. They stopped near a house to spend the night. There, Hiromi tells Suzuki, "I feel so safe being with you." Hearing this from Hiromi, Suzuki felt incredibly good, as it was the first time a girl had complimented him. The next day, when Suzuki woke up, he saw that Hiromi had been bitten on her neck. He became a little alarmed and quickly pointed a gun at Hiromi. Seeing this, Hiromi told Suzuki, I was bitten by a little child. If you want, you can kill me." Hearing such words, Suzuki felt pity for Hiromi. He then promised Hiromi that he would keep her safe under all circumstances and take her to Mount Fuji, where she would be completely healed. They then began walking again. On the way, Suzuki noticed that one of Hiromi's eyes was completely gone. Seeing this, Hiromi also asks Suzuki to leave him alone and go away. Suzuki reluctantly runs away. After running some distance, he finds a man. As Suzuki approaches him for help, he realizes that the man is infected. He attacks Suzuki. He is about to bite Suzuki when Hiromi arrives and kills him, throwing him away. The virus has given Hiromi immense power. Hiromi separates the infected man's head from his body in front of Suzuki. Suzuki finds this very strange. Now that Hiromi has control over herself, Suzuki takes Hiromi with him again. They had been walking for several days. One day they reached Mount Fuji Park, where there were many shops. Suzuki took Hiromi to a shop. He liked a jacket lying there. He quickly put it on. Suddenly he noticed an infected man standing behind him, slowly approaching him. Suzuki tried to enlist Hiromi's help to fight the infected man, but Hiromi was asleep. He was about to attack and bite the infected man when a masked girl arrived and killed him, saving Suzuki's life. At that very moment, some other boys arrived. Suzuki seemed perfectly normal, but they were suspicious of Hiromi. That's why one of them tried to wake Hiromi up and look into her eyes. The boy with her told him that people infected with the virus never sleep. Hearing this, the boy moved away from Hiromi. As they were leaving, Suzuki took Hiromi with them. But then outside, a group of infected people attacked them. Some were even bitten by the infected people, but they were all trying to escape them somehow. At that very moment, we see several other uninfected people on the building. They started shouting from above, attracting all the zombies. Seizing this opportunity, the rest of the people escaped the zombies and climbed the stairs to the top of the building. Suzuki also carried Hiromi to the top of the building, carrying her on his shoulder. He had blindfolded Hiromi so that no one could see her eyes. The group's leader then gave permission for Laraki and Hiromi to join his group. Suzuki was overjoyed to see this, as he was now completely safe there. That same night, Suzuki was sitting with a girl. The girl asked Suzuki about Hiromi. Suzuki told her, "I met Hiromi on the way, so I brought her along." The girl was shocked by Suzuki's words. She praised Suzuki, saying, "Nobody helps anyone in times like these. You're a good person for helping Hiromi." The next day, when Suzuki looked down from the building, he saw a zombie making huge jumps. Just then, a man approached Suzuki. He told Suzuki that this boy was an athlete at a nearby high school. In fact, all those who were infected and turned into zombies are living in their past memories. This means that if a girl loves shopping, she will continue shopping. Suzuki was very surprised to hear this. After this, Laura tells all her special boys that she has met. He holds a meeting with Suzuki, including Suzuki. They're all about to go down to gather food as they only have enough for one day, so they have to go. Just then, Laura spots Suzuki's gun. Laura initially asks Suzuki for his gun, but Suzuki flatly refuses to give it to Laura. This enrages Laura, who storms out of his camp and threatens to torture and kill Hiromi. Suzuki then holds Laura at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Hiromi is captured by some of Laura's men, but Hiromi begins killing them one by one. At that very moment, Hiromi's blindfold is removed. Seeing her eye, everyone realizes that Hiromi is also infected. Just then, Laura pulls the trigger of her bow, and her arrow hits Hiromi squarely in the head. Hiromi collapses on the spot. Laura and her men then snatch Suzuki's shotgun. They then severely beat Suzuki because he brought an infected girl with him. Now, one of Laura's men, Sangu, had the shotgun. He takes advantage of Smokey's situation and threatens Laura with it, telling her that he is the leader from now on. By giving him the gun, everyone else also accepts Sangwa as their leader. Meanwhile, Hiromi, deeply saddened by Suzuki's death, is approached by the same girl who was talking to him last night. We learn that this girl's name is Yabu. Yabu comes to Suzuki and brings him to Hiromi, who is still alive. Yabu was actually a nurse who had treated Hiromi. Suzuki is overjoyed to see this. Suzuki asks Yabu, "Why are you helping us?" Yab tells her, "When the virus was spreading, my patients needed my help at the hospital, but I left them and ran away. I regret it deeply even today. That's why I want to help as many people as I can." Before leaving, Suzuki tells Abu, "Even if I don't return, you should take care of Hiromi." Suzuki then goes down from the building with the rest of the team to gather food. They then walk through the building's parking area, looking for a food store. It was very dark inside, but then the lights come on, making everyone overjoyed. At that moment, they see a food store right in front of them, with a lot of food inside. Everyone goes inside and starts packing the food into their bags. As they're packing the food, a loud music starts playing from the speakers. Seeing this, everyone panicked, knowing what was about to happen. Within moments, the noise caused a large number of infected people to arrive. One of the infected people grabbed Sango's friend, but Sango shot them both with a short-barreled pistol, killing them. By then, hearing the sound of the short-barreled pistol, many more infected people had arrived. Seeing them, Sango and his men began to flee, but the number of infected people was so great that they were killing Sango's friends one by one. In reality, Lura was orchestrating all this, wanting revenge on Sango. She had already gone to the control room and turned on the speakers, which caused the zombies to arrive. Meanwhile, Suzuki ran into a small cabin to escape the zombies. On the other side, we see the same athlete zombie, making a huge jump and reaching the top of the building where the remaining survivors were. The infected begin killing them one by one. Meanwhile, inside the building, a group of infected people kill Sango as well. Meanwhile, when Suzuki was hiding inside the cabin, then he saw a lot of infected people wandering around outside, and a Boki-Toki lying outside. Yabunicha was trying to use the Boki-Toki to ask the people who had come to help, because the zombie had infected everyone upstairs. But Yabu and Hiromi had somehow managed to escape and hide in one place. Yabu noticed that every girl the infected had bitten had become a zombie all at once. Meanwhile, Sozu, having mustered up some courage, had managed to hide in the cabin. But when he came out of the cabin, he saw that not a single infected person was outside. But just then, an infected person attacked Suzuki. Suzuki bravely confronted him and knocked him down with a fire extinguisher. Suzuki quickly picked up the Boki-Toki and tried to talk to Yabu. He tells Yabu, "I'm coming to rescue you soon." Hearing this, Yabu and Hiromi cheer up. Yabu then slings Hiromi over his shoulder and brings her down the building, as there were so many infected people up there. Yabu was now looking for Suzuki. He couldn't find Suzuki, but he did find Laura. Laura shows Yabu the keys, saying, "I have a car, we'll take it and run away." While he's saying this, we see that she's also infected. In fact, she was bitten by an infected person. Now, because Laura was infected, she starts chasing Yabu and Hiromi to kill them. Yabu also manages to escape. But just then, Suzuki appears in front of Yabu with his short gun and instantly kills Laura. Yabu is overjoyed to see Suzuki in front of him. Just then, another boy from their community, who hadn't yet been infected, approaches them. They all begin to move forward together. After a short distance, they spot a man running toward them, dodging the infected. Suzuki and the others also begin to run, as numerous infected are coming toward them as well. Seeing them, Suzuki places Hiromi in a spot and begins killing the infected one by one with his short gun. Seeing Suzuki confront the infected, the others also begin to kill the infected, and within no time, they kill many of them, but not all of the infected were gone. In the ensuing fighting, Suzuki's companions were also killed, but Yabu was still fighting the infected. Suzuki and Yabu were exhausted from killing them, so they came and sat down next to Hiromi. As soon as Suzuki saw Hiromi, he felt renewed hope of saving her. He began killing the infected again, blasting them one by one with his short gun. After killing them all, Suzuki and Yabu were overjoyed, thinking they had killed all the remaining infected. But then the same athlete zombie appeared. The infected ran towards Suzuki. Seeing him reach out, Suzuki shot him with a furious rage, but the bullet hit his chest, which was why the infected remained unharmed. Then the man stood up again. As Suzuki reached into his pocket to take out his shotgun bullets, he realized he didn't have a single bullet in his pocket. At that moment, Suzuki looked down and saw a bullet. Suzuki quickly picks up the bullet and shoots the infected. With the infected finally dead, Suzuki, Hiromi, and Yabu relax a bit. But their joy is short-lived as the infected, despite being shot in the head, gets back up, and this time his target is Yabu and Hiromi. He starts running again, but this time he's headed for Yabu. Before he can reach Yabu, Soki arrives in front of him and shoots him in the head again, exploding the remaining part of his head. Finally, he's dead. After this, the three of them take a car and head off towards Mount Fuchs, all very happy with each other. And with that, friends, the movie ends.